Today, you're going to understand 9 points that exist in the mind of all girls. These 9 points are weaknesses. You'll understand them with me clearly, and I'll explain to you how to take advantage of them. I'm not just going to list them for you and leave it at that. I'll show you how to use them to your advantage, so listen carefully. The contrasting personalities. You need to have 2 contrasting personalities, not just one. For example, if your personality is generally kind, you should also have a darker, more mischievous side. Or let's say you have a strong, calm, and composed personality. One day, you and a girl are walking down the street and you hear a song playing loudly. Suddenly, you start dancing out of nowhere. When she sees you dancing, she'll get confused and won't understand what's going on. She'll think to herself, isn't this guy strong and calm? Why is he dancing? Who is this person really? These kinds of questions that keep running through her mind will make her think about you constantly, and they will reinforce her belief in your strength. How? If you've been following my series on how to attract women, you'll know by now that women are attracted to strong men. But what I don't want you to do is to always act as the strong man 100% of the time. If you do that, she won't believe in your strength and will feel like you're forcing it. That's why you should always try to incorporate an opposite side to your personality. If you're kind, add a dark and bad side to you. This will make her think about you more, and at the same time, it will increase your mysteriousness. By the way, soon I'll be releasing a video in this series dedicated solely to mystery and how to increase the mystery in your personality. But for now, I want you to focus on adding a contrasting side to your personality, and trust me, you'll be surprised by the results. Talk to her about someone who looks different from her. This tactic is very important. Always talk to her about someone who looks the opposite of her. For example, if the girl you're interested in has black hair, mention a blonde girl when you're talking to her. Say something like, I knew a blonde girl who used to impress me when I worked at XYZ company, and then continue the conversation. Or you could mention a famous blonde actress and say you're a fan of her acting and keep talking casually. But when you talk to her, speak naturally. Don't make it seem like you're throwing her a hint or a signal. Just talk normally. To fully understand this tactic, let me explain something about girls. You have to understand that girls tend to overthink a lot. From the moment they wake up in the morning, they begin to overthink. For example, if she's walking down the street and suddenly sees a crying child, she might think about that child all day, creating scenarios in her mind, trying to understand why the child was crying. She might even start feeling sad for the child, even though she doesn't know him and only saw him for a few seconds. This is part of a girl's nature. She overthinks everything, and this overthinking is one of her biggest weaknesses. So when you're with her and they talk about a girl who looks completely different from her, even if you only say a word or two, she will keep thinking about that girl. When she goes home at night, she'll keep wondering why you mentioned that blonde girl. She'll think, does he like blondes? Am I not attractive to him? Am I not beautiful? Maybe I should dye my hair blonde. In other words, with just one sentence, you can make her think about you all day. And this state of mind, where she is thinking about you and trying to understand you, is the quickest way to her heart, and it's the fastest route to love. In short, talk to her about a girl who looks the opposite of her. Don't be afraid to criticize the girl. This point is more about you as a man than it is about the girl. As men, we often fear hurting a girl's feelings, and we hesitate to criticize her. For example, if a girl is smoking next to you, you might not have the courage to tell her, don't smoke or blow the smoke away, because you're afraid of seeming rude or impolite. But in reality, this is just a misconception that society has ingrained in us. If you tell her, blow the smoke away, even though you may come off as rude, she'll actually admire the confidence and strength you're showing. But you shouldn't be overly critical all the time. Your criticism needs to be thoughtful. For example, if she wears something that doesn't look good on her, tell her, that outfit doesn't suit you. Or if she takes a picture that doesn't look great, tell her, that picture didn't turn out well. This honest criticism has a strong impact on the relationship, because when you criticize her, your compliments become much more valuable. I want you to remember this phrase for the rest of your life. When you criticize her, your compliments become more meaningful. If you always compliment her, she won't give much importance to your praise. But when you criticize her from time to time, the compliments you give become special, and she'll desire them more. Think about yourself. If someone is constantly telling you, you're smart, you're smart, you're smart, after a while, you'll stop valuing those words. But if someone who has never complimented you before suddenly says, you're smart, you'll appreciate that compliment much more. This is natural. As humans, we give more value to rare things. By the way, this isn't just a weakness for women, it's a universal human human trait. I'll be making a video soon on this topic as part of the social skills series, but for now, just remember, don't be afraid to criticize the girl, because criticism is the foundation that will make your compliments valuable later on. That was point 3. Let's move on to point 4. Talk to her about something she's not good at. If the girl doesn't know how to do something or struggles with a certain area in her life, you can use this to your advantage in a subtle way. Listen closely to this. Let's say a girl tells you she doesn't know how to cook. Wait for some time, and then one day during your conversation, casually mention something like, I really admire girls who know how to cook. But don't say it directly. The topic should naturally flow from what you're already talking about. When you bring it up, don't dwell on it for too long. Don't just go up to her and say, I love girls who can cook, while staring at her, because that will make her feel like you're directly targeting her, and she may try to respond defensively. However, when you mention it indirectly, later when she goes home, she'll keep thinking about that point. I'll repeat this again. The more a girl thinks about you, the more she'll grow attached to you. Share your weakness with her. This point is very important, so pay close attention. Share your weakness with her. Why? I get a lot of questions from people who are afraid that a girl will discover their weaknesses. Listen carefully. I'm gonna tell you something very important that I want you to take to heart. If you have a weakness, tell her about it before she finds it out on her own. This is a very powerful technique, and few people know about it. If you have a particular issue, let's say you don't know how to dance, and one day you go with a girl to her heart. If you have a weakness, tell her about it before she finds it out on her own. This is a very powerful technique, and few people know about it. If you have a particular issue, let's say you don't know how to dance, and one day you go with a girl to a club and start dancing, and she notices you're terrible at it, she'll see this as a flaw and think less of you for not knowing how to dance. But if you go to her beforehand and tell her that you don't know how to dance, then you're doing two things. First, she'll see you as confident because you admitted it to her. This shows that you don't care about her judgment, and that's a sign of self-confidence. At the same time, you'll make her feel empathy for you. Remember the word empathy well, because empathy is a key part of a woman's nature. We can even consider it one of the biggest weaknesses of women. Why do some people use the pity strategy to get closer to women? Because when a woman feels empathy for a man, it becomes difficult for her to say no, and she feels a strong attraction toward him. But let's be clear, I don't recommend using the pity strategy to win over a girl, because even if it works once, it's unlikely to work again, and you could lose her. I recommend using empathy while maintaining your strength and masculinity. That's why I'm telling you, if you have a weakness, let her know about it. And by the way, since we're talking about empathy, I'll share a technique I've been meaning to talk about for a while, but didn't get the chance. If you ever get sick or need something, and you're already in a relationship with a girl, ask her to take care of you. If you're sick and need medicine, ask her to go to the pharmacy and get it for you. Women naturally love to take care of others, so if the situation arises, ask her to look after you. When you're with her, show that you lose control a little, like a small child who wants to hug her or gently touch her. You become spontaneous, and when she does something cute, you hug her and let go of that strong, composed side of yourself. Show her this side, but there's an important point to stop here and discuss. This technique shouldn't be used all the time. It depends on the girl you're dealing with. Most of the time, in the first date, it's better not to do this. Or if it's your first time talking to the girl, don't use this technique. Wait at least until the second meeting and start gradually. Don't suddenly go for a hug out of nowhere. The key is, if it's suitable for your situation, show her that you lose control when she does something cute or wears something that looks good on her. This will make her like you more, because she'll feel that you're spontaneous and unafraid to show your admiration for her. At the same time, this is one of the best ways to avoid being stuck in the friend zone. By the way, I'm considering making a video about the friend zone in the How to Attract Women series. If you want me to do that, and if you're currently facing this issue, let me know in the comments, please. Make her put in effort to attract you. How can you do this? Listen carefully, because this is the most important point in today's video. Make her put in effort to attract you. Let's say, for example, you tell her that you like philosophy. After some time, ask her, do you like philosophy? At this point, there are two possible responses. She might say yes, or she might say no. If she says yes, it means she's trying to impress you. This is something inherent in all girls. They want to be liked. Her attempt to gain your approval will make her more attracted to you. If she says no, then when she goes home, she'll start thinking, I told him no, and he likes philosophy. What's he going to make her put in effort to attract you? How can you do this? Listen carefully, because this is the most important point in today's video. Make her put in effort to attract you. Let's say, for example, you tell her that you like philosophy. After some time, ask her, do you like philosophy? At this point, there are two possible responses. She might say yes, or she might say no. If she says yes, it means she's trying to impress you. This is something inherent in all girls. They want to be liked. Her attempt to gain your approval will make her more attracted to you. If she says no, then when she goes home, she'll start thinking, I told him no, and he likes philosophy. What's he going to think of me? What's his opinion of me now? As I mentioned before, every girl has a natural weakness. She wants to be liked. In this case, after saying no, she'll keep thinking about you and wondering, did I lose his interest? This reflection will make her want you more. So, in both cases, you win. The key is to put her in a position where she feels like she needs to earn your approval. But if she answers no and doesn't seem to care about impressing you, don't sit there trying to convince her or say things like, oh, philosophy isn't that great, or try to follow her lead in the conversation. If she says no, just ignore it or change the subject entirely if you want. In summary, the idea is to let her know that you like something, then later ask her about that thing and let her put in the effort to prove that she's worthy of your admiration. Set boundaries with her. By nature, girls like to be controlled by a man who knows how to lead and establish dominance. This is a weakness that many of you might already be aware of, but what you might not know is how to apply this control. The simplest way is by setting boundaries. You need to show her that you have limits. For example, if you tell her, I don't like girls who smoke, and then she pulls out a cigarette and starts smoking in front of you, get up and walk away immediately. Don't stay sitting next to her. Over time, she'll stop smoking in front of you. Or let's say you're planning a trip together. Tell her, I don't pay for girls. We'll split the costs, and then stick to that boundary. By the way, there's a question that comes up frequently. Who should pay the bill? Should you pay for everything, or should you split the costs? This question doesn't have a single answer. It depends on what you want to do and what works best for you. Just do what makes you comfortable, especially in the early stages. If you've just started seeing the girl and she isn't your girlfriend yet, if you can afford to pay, then pay. If you can't, don't pay and split the bill. The important thing is to do what suits you, and don't worry about her opinion or society's expectations. Make her realize she's not the only one in your life. A girl will often ask you from time to time if you're seeing someone else. Most men feel insecure and respond by saying, I'm not seeing anyone else. But that's not what you should do. Instead, say something like, yes, there are a few candidates I've shortlisted. Let's see who gets the job. Saying this won't just make her jealous, it will also push her to work twice as hard to keep you around. Women are naturally attracted to men who have multiple options, and this is a weakness I've talked about a lot in the How to Attract Women series. So, if you haven't watched it yet, I recommend going back and watching the full series. And with that, we've come to the end of the video. If you have any issues, let me know in the comments so I can know what to talk about in the next video. This was The Dark Needle, and see you next time.